be seated. Mr. Levine, next witness.
Your Honor, the state calls Officer Christopher Hyde.
Go around the back, watch your step.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. Officer Hyde, may you please introduce yourself to the jury and spell your name for the record?
My name is Christopher Hyde, spelled CHRISTOPHERHYDE.
And where are you employed?
I'm employed as a police officer with the Iowa Tribe Police Department.
And what state is that in?
That is in Oklahoma.
And how long have you been employed in law enforcement?
Approximately 8 years now.
Now I want to direct your attention specifically to February 14th of 2023. Were you working for the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office as a deputy on that date?
I was.
And did you respond to a homicide scene within your jurisdiction?
Yes.
Were you one of the first responders?
I was.
Were you able to determine through your investigation that the deceased individual had been shot 2 times?
That is correct.
Were you able to determine that 1 gunshot wound was to the chest and 1 gunshot wound was to the head?
Yes.
Through your investigation, were you able to determine that the defendant here in court is the individual who shot the deceased?
Yes.
Now, the person that you saw that day, do you see them in court today?
I do.
If you recognize them by something they're wearing, could you state that for the record and perhaps point to the individual?
The defendant is seated at the defense table in a gray suit jacket.
Your Honor, the record will reflect Officer Hyde has identified the defendant. And is it a fair statement that the defendant was not charged for that killing in Oklahoma by the prosecutor's office?
That is correct.
And was the defendant arrested for that?
He was.
All right, Officer Hyde, I have no further questions.
Ms. Ross?
No cross.
Is the witness released?
He is, Your Honor.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's about 10 after noon. We will take our hour lunch at this time. Remember, don't talk about the case with anyone. If anyone approaches you and tries to talk to you about the case, tell them you're on the jury. Tell them to stop. If they don't, leave and let me know as soon as you can by writing it down and giving it to the bailiff. Please enjoy your lunch and return at 10 after 1.
All rise, please.
Do we need to take care of this issue regarding your client's presence during publication of the 911?
We have discussed it again, and his desire is once again to be outside of the courtroom.
All right.
When it's published, played for the jury. Putting him back in the holding cell is acceptable.
Mr. Levine, is that going to be directly after lunch?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So, Mr. Griffith, you're still under oath. We had previously been talking about your decision to absent yourself from the courtroom during publication of that exhibit. You asked for some additional time with Ms. Thornhill and Mr. Hendry. Have you had enough additional time?
I have not.
And have you discussed the pros and cons of being in here or waiving your appearance?
Yes, we have, Your Honor.
Have they answered all your questions and addressed any concerns you have about that particular issue?
Yes, Your Honor, they did.
Now, are you under the influence of anything right now, drugs, alcohol, or medication that's prescribed you at the jail?
No, Your Honor.
And has anyone promised you anything or threatened you to get you to absent yourself from the courtroom for a portion of this trial?
No, Your Honor.
I've heard about some mental health history on your behalf. Are you currently under a diagnosis at the jail?
No, Your Honor, I have no diagnosis.
So you're not supposed to be taking any medication that helps you think more clearly or make good decisions.
I am under no prescription, Your Honor.
All right. And Ms. Thornhill, Mr. Hendry, has there been any reason today to believe that your client is not competent to make important decisions such as this?
Not at all.
No, Your Honor.
All right. And are you satisfied with the advice and counsel that Ms. Thornhill and Mr. Hendry have given you about this particular issue?
Yes.
Do you have any questions of me?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else you want on the record, Ms. Thornhill?
No, sir.
Mr. Hendry?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
I find that your choice to waive your appearance during that portion of the trial is freely, knowingly, and intelligently made, and that it's made upon the advice of competent counsel. Now, if you change your mind, just tap your lawyer on the shoulder. But Ms. Thornhill, I need to tell the jury something, so what do you suggest I tell? I've never had this occur.
And neither have I.
I'm going to sit down. You may sit.
Okay. I mean, I think simple and straightforward that Collin Griffith has elected not to be present in the courtroom while this particular piece of evidence is published to you. He will be removed from the courtroom, and then they can watch and walk back.
Mr. Levine?
No objection.
All right. So,
And
Your Honor, if I may, I would prefer that, Ms. Thornhill and I get an opportunity to kind of mull this over lunch.
Yeah.
As far as like the exact wording that we would like, I don't have any objection to what she's just suggested, but we hadn't actually discussed how that instruction would look. And frankly, I hadn't thought of it, that it was something that you would have to do. But yeah, we'll, if we could, like, before the jury comes back, have
it would be
something.
very helpful if you would write it down and email it to me and copy Mr. Levine.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Anything else before the lunch break?
No, Your Honor.
no, sir.
All right. 10 after.